Hey, this is Jeff Keith from Tesla, and you're watching our interview with my buddy Joe Zito, JZ Productions 26, coming at you live. Ow! Come on, sundown, don't be hanging around, 'cause the cowboy, I thought you were. She's a lot like you. She'll be rich as my mom when her dreams come true. A little scissors on the air. Love will find a way. Darling, love is gonna find a way. Find its way back to you. I miss your smile and that sparkle in your eyes. You're so beautiful, never change. The way it is, the way that it goes. You take a shot every day to win. Innocence, medicine. You played your cards, but you couldn't win. Innocence, medicine. Music means a lot to me. Like love, I make it when I can. All I am is all I ever be, and that's just a fucking Texarkana. No, it's not what you got, it's what you give. Don't want my yesterday to wake me up, slap me in the face.
And welcome back to another episode of the Boys Podcast. My guest today is a singer and songwriter. He is best known for being the lead singer of the band Tesla. Some of their albums include Mechanical Resonance, The Great Radio Controversy, Psychotic Supper, Bust a Nut, and many more. Some of their songs include Modern Day Cowboy, Love Song, Edison's Medicine, Call It What You Want, What You Give, Last Action Hero, Need You Lovin', and many more. So welcome the legend himself, my favorite singer of all time, Mr. Jeff Keith. Welcome, Jeff.
Well, thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. And I'm very honored that you said I'm your favorite singer. So thank you, my friend.
You're very welcome. It's an honor having you on, Jeff, because, guys, Tesla is like the greatest band of all time, in my opinion. And he's like Jeff's the greatest singer of all time. So it's an honor having you on.
Well, everybody has their opinion, but I appreciate your opinion as I am.
You're very welcome. So, Jeff, what have you been up to? How's Jeff doing? How you doing, Jeff? How you doing?
Jeff's doing great. Hey, man, I had, we stopped touring this last year in October. And what we do is we get to have Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas at home, get all that family time in, which we just love. And we went out and did 4 shows in January, but now we're getting ready. Today is the first day of rehearsal for the residency in Las Vegas at the House of Blues. So we're going to do 5 shows in 10 days. So it's the first time we've ever done that, but a lot of people are doing it and they've asked us to do it. And so we said, okay.
That's awesome. Like those would be great shows to go to. Wow.
Yeah, it's a great experience. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Awesome. That's really cool. Now, Jeff, what made you want to become a singer? Who is your biggest inspiration for singing? Like, did you have a favorite band growing up, favorite singer?
You know what? I am a late bloomer and I'm from a small town. And I'll tell you what, I never grew up thinking, like Frank and Brian and all them. They were like, oh, I'm going to grow up and I'm going to be like Y&T. I want to be like, just all these different bands. They want to grow up and be rock stars, right? That's the dream of a lot of kids. Well, I'm from a small town, and I actually had graduated high school from Heidelberg, Oklahoma, majoring in FFA 1, 2, and 3, and then moved back to Georgetown, which is a small town up here in the foothills of the Sierra Nevada mountains in Northern California. And so I ended up doing construction for a year, and then drove a truck for Georgetown Precast, hauling septic tanks. We were number 1, the number 2 business. And then me and my brother got this little band together with some friends in town. And next, these 2 girls that lived in Georgetown, they were living in Sacramento, and they knew Brian and Frank, and they got me an audition singing a Sammy Hagar song. Your love is driving me crazy. And I ended up passing the audition. And the way I always explain to people is that movie Finding Nemo, I caught the drift, dude. And we're still drifting out there 37 years later.
That's really cool. Like, and you said you go from like a small town. I think Texarkana. I think is that where you're from? Texarkana.
Texarkana, Arkansas, I was born. But at 2 years old, we moved to Georgetown, California, which is a logging town up in the foothills of the Sierra Nevada mountains outside, like an hour out of Sacramento. But population 900. It's still population 900 around there. There's no traffic lights whatsoever. It's just stop signs and stuff like that. But it's a really small, very close-knit community. And so I was 24 when I joined City Kid. I was 28 when our first record, Mechanical Resonance, came out. So most people that are in the business, they're learning to play, like Frank was learning at age 12. He broke his leg riding a dirt bike until his mom had gotten him a guitar. And it's great. He just sat there with the broken leg, with the cast on, and learned to play guitar. And thank goodness, he's one of the best guitar players I've ever known. That's my personal opinion. And so at 24, I passed the audition, and then when our first record came out, I was 28 years old. I'm the old man of the band.
Wow. Yeah. It's an all-star band, like, honestly. Like, Frank Hannon on guitar, Brian Wheat on the bass, the drums, Troy, like, oh my god.
Exactly, Troy Licata, yes. Yeah, and then Tommy Skio, and now we have Dave Rude.
Yeah.
Because, for reasons and that Tommy, we broke up. We went to a 4-piece in 95. Tommy had left, and then we stayed together till 96. Then I lost my voice, so everybody, the guy just went, let's just quit. And I went, hey, okay, I'm going through a divorce. I had a really close friend that died, and I was just like so lost. So for 4 years, we were broken up. And in 2000, we got back together. And things were just going great, but we started seeing we're going back down that same road that kind of brought things to an end. So long story short, in 2006, Frank found, because when Tommy left again, he will say we was fired. We say he left, unfortunately, for reasons. And so we got David Rude in 2006. And he's a great guy. He's what we call our young spring chicken.
Well, Tesla's, like I told you, like, Tesla is like the greatest band of all time. You're the greatest singer of all time, Jeff. Like, I can't keep, like, you guys are awesome. I mean,
well, thank you very much, Joe. I appreciate that, and I take that to heart coming from you.
I got you. Now, over the years of your career, do you still keep in touch with other musicians you worked with, like you went on tour with or worked with along the lines? Like, do you still keep in touch? Like,
oh, absolutely. Oh, yes. It's like we get the opportunity to play with so many people. My first concert was 1978, Down the Green, number 3 at Oakland Coliseum, and that's Malcolm and Bon Scott when they came out. Woohoo! I take them guys on stage with me every night.
That's awesome.
What's that, Vera? Def Leppard. But yes, I'm going to get to Def Leppard because probably if you ask what's the most memorable one-time show, I would say this.
Ooh.
Which is a Texas Jam, Boston, Aerosmith, Whitesnake, Poison, Tessa. That was Saturday, June 20th, 1987 at the Cotton Bowl.
That's
but my favorite tour of all, and I think the whole band will agree, was from 87 to 88 doing the Hysteria tour, 14 months with Def Leppard. So they became our big brothers. We did a record here, just 3-4 years ago with Phil Collin. He produced it. It's called Shock.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'd have to say one of the most memorable concerts was Texas Jam, like 85,000, 90,000 people at the Cotton Bowl in '87 with Boston Aerosmith, Whitesnake, Poison, Tessa, and the ultimate tour for us. And we've got to tour with a lot of great bands: David Lee Roth, Alice Cooper, Motley Crue, Poison. I mean, the list goes on and on. But the Hysteria tour, we started out over in the UK in 1987, and it carried on through till 1988 because it lasted for 14 months. And they're
And
our big brothers. They took us under their wing and just, they're our big brothers. Def Leppard, those guys are our big brothers for sure.
two all-star bands, Def Leppard, Tesla. Like, what more can you ask for? Like, those are two. Wow, I wish I could like go back in time and see these concerts. That'd be so awesome. I'm sorry, that'd be awesome.
Don't we all wish we could go back on some things, Joe?
Yeah.
But hey, it's, we've had so many great experiences, and we're still getting all these great experiences, and we're so fortunate and we're so grateful, and we're having fun. We're still having fun, man. Here's the deal, Joe. I don't care what band you're going on tour with, who you're playing with. If you're not having fun doing something, why be miserable doing it? So we're having fun. 37 years later, and we're still writing songs and having fun.
So,
Can't beat that.
wow, you're having fun jamming out and kicking butt, right?
That's
Nice.
it. That's
Nice.
it, man. I'm always ready to kick butt. Of course, I might say another word, but that's okay. Never mind.
I know. Wow.
Ah.
Oh man. Who who would you say is the coolest person? Def Leppard would probably be the coolest person you perform with of them all.
Oh, with Def Leppard, those guys are just so
cool.
awesome as people. Hey, but I've been fortunate to meet a lot of people. Love Steven Tyler. He was a big inspiration for me, and to be able to be friends with him, and I mean, gosh, when I think of everybody we've played with, I'm looking around my walls, but we've been so fortunate to play with so many great people, Joe. It's hard to just say, oh, this is my favorite person out of everyone. But I got to sit next to Malcolm. When him and Bon Scott and him came out in 1978 and Day on the Green, that just was like, wow. So every night I go on stage, I go, Bon Scott, Malcolm Young, boom, right in your face. I like to take that on stage with me every night.
That's so awesome. Now, can you walk me through the songwriting process, like Modern Day Cowboy, Love Song, like what you give, like what are they about? Like if you don't mind me asking, like those are all amazing songs.
Okay, well, thank you. Well, though songs come in all different sizes and shapes. So now, Modern Day Cowboy. See, I get the music. The guys would bring me the music, and I'd go, "What does this music make me feel like? Does it make me feel like happy, glad? Oh, is it a little bit like sad? Is it a ballad? Is it a fast tempo song?" So Modern Day Cowboy was just had that riff. So I mean that, and actually, growing up in Oklahoma, there's a guy named Lightning Billy, and he was. So the song originally, when me and Frank would write on it on after our parties, after the local clubs that we play in City Kid, it was called Lightning Billy. Lightning Billy, but it's funny how songs evolve and turned into Modern Day Cowboy when we started working with Steve Thompson and Mike Barbiero. So the songs evolve. I have tapes out of my studio and up in the rafters that would trip you out, and you go, that's where Love Song started out. And you go, yep. And then it goes this full circle to a song. And Love Song, it's like when I think Frank had wrote a lot of that music. And when he came to me with that music, I went, I would like to write a song that has the feel of You might have never heard of them, but they were called the Flying Machine. They had a song called "Smile a Little Smile for Me, Rosemary. You must keep on trying. In a little while, you'll see." So it's a band from like the late 60s. And I wanted to write a song with that feel because the song of the Flying Machine, "Smile a Little Smile for Me, Rosemary," is Rosemary has her heart's been broken, but
Mm-hmm.
love will find a way back to you. And that's the whole
Mm-hmm.
idea of it. And so therefore it's, inspires me to write songs. The song calls, "You say it's over now, your love's come to an end." Well, in love song, I say, "So you think that it's over? For your love has finally reached the end." So in my own words, I totally I was inspired by that song. So what we do with music, and we all pass it around and pass it around, we're inspired by songs that mean something to us. And when we write songs, those inspirations come out.
Those are so like, oh my god. Like, so wait, for modern day cowboy, when you said Billy, oh my god.
Lightning Billy.
So
Yeah.
when you say that one lyric in the song, like Billy goes into town, is that where it's coming from?
Right, from Oklahoma when I grew up. And Lightning Billy, uh, he's the kind of guy that, sort of had the sheriff department in his back pocket, and he had dog fights and, you know, cockfights and all this kind of stuff. And he kind of run the town. So that's, sort of what was inspired that. And then I went, well, let me go back to the cowboy days, right? They're bang bang shooting them up, and they're high noon. They're having their draw outs in the main street, and then you've got the gangsters. That's what I talk about in the second verse, and in the third verse, it's about as political as I'll ever get. It's talking about how, the USA, the USSR, they got their six guns by their side, and they're the rockets and missiles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which therefore makes the modern day cowboy. That's the whole idea behind the song. So songs start here, over here, and then move over here, and then they go over here, and next they can go sometimes twice full circle, and it evolves. That's what's fun about writing songs is they grow, and you go, hey, how about we go over here with that? How about we go over here? Oh, how about this part we put in here? And next where it started, it's hardly even close to where it ends up. Yeah, and sometimes when you write a song, you'll start here and you go, let's take it around the block. And you'll go around the block and go, oh, we tried other avenues, but we're right back at right where we started at the first block, and the song stays there. So I love writing songs. It's a really cool process, but my favorite thing to do is sing them live every night on stage.
I'm sorry, but like I love like all the Tesla songs. Like they're so catchy and awesome. I'm sorry, the titles, the lyrics, like oh my, like it speaks. You know what I mean?
Well, thanks. Yeah, well, with me, Joe, the guys would give me music, and I take that Paul McCartney theory. Not that I'm anywhere close to Paul McCartney. I'm just saying it's about the melody, because the music that you get is a melody. And different melodies combined. And so then I like to hum the melody, and then I fill the melody in, and I fill in the blank with words. That's my approach. Some people, I've heard Bon Jovi say, I wrote that song in 5 minutes in a diner cafe. I can't do that, because some people are the opposite. It's like you take Bernie Taupin and Elton John. Bernie Taupin writes the lyrics, like the poem, and Elton sings them and puts it to this beautiful music, and that's what works for them. I'm the kind of guy, I get the music, I go, how does it make me feel? What kind of, mindset does it put me in? And then once I get a melody that feels good, then I just fill in the blanks with words, and which can be even better, because if you can get words that touch people's hearts, then you're reaching people in their heart. And I can honestly say everything I've ever written was from the heart. So even if it doesn't touch anybody else's heart, at least it started out touching mine.
You have such an amazing voice too, Jeff. Like honestly, your voice is so like, oh my God. Sorry, it's amazing.
Well, thank you, Joe. Hey, once again, I don't claim to sing, and a lot of times I'll joke around and they'll go, here you go. You want to, they'll hand me the mic and they'll go, okay, go sing in the mic over on stage 2. No, we're on the big stage. You're over on stage 1. And I'll go, I don't claim to sing. And they go, Jeff, just do what you do into the microphone over there. I like to keep it like that. I don't claim to be able to sing, Joe. I just feel good at just doing what I'm doing in the microphone and coming together as a band with the guys, because it's a, you know, it's we're gelling together as 5. We're coming together as this band, as this unit on stage. And the people, and then they pick up on that. Next, you know, we're feeding off them, they're feeding off us, and a concert is so cool because the whole atmosphere is everybody's feeding off of everybody and hopefully having fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, what is your, okay, this might be tough for you. What is your favorite Tesla song, favorite and least favorite Tesla song, and favorite and least favorite Tesla album?
Okay, well, I might hurt some feelings when I say least favorite Tesla song, but I'm going to have to go with favorite song,
okay,
What You Give. Because I grew up with not a lot, and it's not about what you're possessing. It's what you're giving back, like love, like, you know, and your possessions don't, what all you possess and whatever you're holding in your hand, that's fine if you're sharing it. So it's not what you got. It's not saying, look what all I got. It's that you're sharing it.
Yeah.
Right? That's how I feel about it. So that's what I love about What You Give. Because it's not about, oh, it's only this, oh, it's only that, to somebody that, like, you know, can mean the world to me. So What You Give is my favorite. Now, least, and we're getting ready to put it in the set when we do the residency. And we've done it before. And I love the music, but love me. When I listen to the lyrics, I go, I'm begging, love me, come on and love me, oh, set me free. But the music, I love it, you know. It's great. It's my lyrics that make me go, wish I would have took a little bit more time and maybe not be begging so much. But hey, that was our first record. You know what? That's, you're learning how to be yourself, and it's fine. We're going to play the song, and I'm going to enjoy doing it. So I hate to even say that that's my least favorite Tessa song. I don't know that I have a least favorite Tessa song. It's hard to even pick a best favorite, because, you know, when they people want to do this, you're on a deserted island. What's your favorite 10 records you want to have? I go, well, I don't know, but I'm going to be making paddles out of them with bamboo poles and trying to make me a canoe so I can get off the deserted island. They go, no, we just want to know what your favorite 10 albums are. So it's hard to pick 10 favorite albums. But I love Tessa. Tessa's my favorite band. I can honestly say that because I get to go out and we're still doing it and get to go out there and just feel so good, and the people feel so good, we feel so good, and we're sharing the message of love, and it's not what you got, it's what you give, and hang tough, you know, it's the way it is, the way that it goes. Just, you know, I mean, because when I write lyrics, for me, I'm just trying to make it through a lot, almost every time. It's therapy for me at that point in my life. So, and that's when people can come up and go, oh, that really helped me through this. Oh, that helped me over here with this. And it's a great feeling to have people say, you really helped me out, Jeff, with your words. And I'm like, hey, I got to tell you, when I was writing them, I was trying to make it through something myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, what you give is actually my favorite Tesla song of all time. That's actually my favorite.
What you give what?
It's my favorite song of all time by you guys.
See, me too. See, there we're late to that. All right.
So, and then I think I know, but for also the audience at home, what is the band name Tesla about? I'm guessing it's from Nikola Tesla.
That's correct. So see, we were making the first record.
Okay.
Our club name was City Kid with 2 D's.
Mhm.
We knew we didn't want to be City Kid, you know. So Tom Zutat, who signed us in Tree Sands, who signed us to Geffen Records, and our management, Cliff Bernstein, Peter Mensch for Q Prime. And they said, listen, we're going to give you guys chances to come up with names for a band. We were coming up with all these names that weren't that good. So we were halfway done with the record. They came into the studio. We were doing it in upstate New York in Bearsville. And they said, you guys haven't really come up with nothing. And we got an idea that we wanted to run by you guys. And we're halfway done with the record. So when you're halfway done with a record, say it's a 3-month process, they got to start working on the artwork. So they told us everything about the inventor, Nikola Tesla, without saying his name. They said alternating current, which powers the amplifiers. He was the underdog. He was into his inventions for his passion. He wasn't in it for the buck. Remote control. He saw little spears of electricity in the air, and look how much we're using it today. So he was a man at a time. So they told us everything about the guy. We went, great, what's the name? And they said, Tesla. And we all 5 looked like the RCA dog, all, what? Tesla? That sounds so odd. But you know what's funny is it sounds so normal today, Tesla.
Yeah.
But when we first heard it in 1986, it was like, what'd you say? And we said, let's go with it, because the first record is Mechanical Resonance, which is a theory that Nikola Tesla wasn't going to do it, but if he put certain points of vibrations or whatever in the earth, he could split it like an apple. The Great Radio Controversy, he was 6 months dead in 1943, was it? When the Supreme Court, the only time he ever wrote something down on paper was for the radio, and Marconi took the patent, went down to the patent office, got the patent on it. But 6 months after Nikola Tesla was passed away, the Supreme Court ruled Nikola Tesla is in fact the father of the radio. Marconi, we got proof that he had this, and Marconi took the patent down there and patented it. But in our history books, Marconi's still the father of radio. But the truth is, Nikola Tesla was. So that's what we named our second record after, the Great Radio Controversy. And then, like Psychotic Supper, he used to, do funny things when he used to wipe he broke everything down. The guy was really this genius that was way out of his time. We were in horse and buggy days, and he's going, I see little spears of electricity in the air, and they're like going, what are you talking about? But he really did. So he's this amazing guy that, he didn't care about money. And the only time he wrote those, not blueprints, but where you write it out, how it works, and that bit him in the butt. So he never did it, just that one time. Because they would say, like, say his remote control submarine, they go, how does it work? And he go, it's all right there. And they go, put it on paper. Like Edison and them were like, put it on paper, because they wanted to go get the patent on it. You go, I don't need to put it on paper. It's all right there. And they go, I know, but put it on paper. We need it on paper. So to this day, from my understanding, is they have a lot of scientists working on things that Nikola Tesla made work, like, say, this cell phone. But the scientists, well, not on cell phones, they're working fine. A lot of people, most of the world's using them. But I'm just saying, say this came and they go, we know it works. It calls Joe, and I can talk to him, but how does it work? Because if somebody says you can't sell a product that you go, it works, but we don't know how it works. Because once it breaks down, people are going to come and go, hey, your product I bought that worked great, it stopped working, fix it for me. You can't be sitting there going, we just made them, we don't know how they work, so we don't know how to fix them. You can't do that. So from what I understand, there's still scientists in laboratories still trying to figure out going, Nikola Tesla has this invention, but we still don't understand how it works because he didn't write it down on paper.
Wow.
Pretty interesting. They're still to this day working on going, it works. We've got this. It works. We just don't know how it works.
If you were like a musician, what do you think you would have done as a career instead, and what other interests and hobbies you have besides?
If I wasn't a musician,
yes,
I would still probably be driving a truck. I was a truck driver for 6 years before I joined City Kid. So I would be driving a truck, probably still working for Georgetown Precast. It was for septic tanks. We were #1 in the #2 business. We had keychain shaped like #1 going #1 to #2 business. But, you know, we hauled our own aggregate, mixed our own concrete, poured the tanks, pulled them, and then hauled them. And really, if you set them good, you never had to see the #2 side of it. You just put the tank in, seal it good. They put the leach lines in, and everything's great. So I really enjoyed truck driving, but who knows? You know, I'd probably still be working for Georgetown Precast. It's still there up in Georgetown.
Wow. Now, before I ask you my last question, can you sing a little song? It's possible, like a little snippet.
Sing a little of something.
Like a little song, maybe like a love song or What You Give, anything.
All right. Who's the one that makes you happy? Or maybe who's the one always on your mind? And who is the reason you're living for? Who's the reason for your smile? You are, Joe.
Thank
the
you.
Reason for my smile.
Thank you, Jeff. Now,
you're welcome.
Jeff, is there anything you would like to promote? Anything for the viewers, audience? What you want them to check out? Check you guys out on tour? What do you want to shout out?
Hey, we're going to do the residency in this, is it already in March? Yeah, this month, 17th through the 25th down at the House of Blues. Then we're going to do the Monsters of Rock cruise this year, I think at the end of April. And then we're going to be going out from city to city all this summer and this fall. So make sure you come on down and have fun with Tesla.
Yeah.
And just always anything in everyday life, just everything you do it from the heart. Always do it from the heart. You can't go wrong.
Thank you, and Jeff, for being an awesome, amazing guest. I had a fun time chatting with you. Thank you, Jeff. It was an honor. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Joe, and thanks for taking your time. And I appreciate us sharing time together.
Yeah. Have a great day, everybody, and stay awesome. And you stay awesome, Jeff.
Thanks, Joe.